Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a stereo equipment update and show you all of my new stereo equipment. So when I first started making vinyl videos, I did a stereo equipment tour, showed you what I had, and since then literally everything has changed. So I thought it was about time to do an updated video, and I'm going to show you everything new that I now have. And I just want to say that I am so grateful for what I had in the past. About 4 years ago, my husband brought home for Valentine's Day a wonderful turntable. It was a Denon DP 300F automatic turntable. He also brought home an Ortofon Red stylus for me. And it was literally a game changer. Before that, I had just been using a really inexpensive little setup that not only did not sound good for my vinyl, but a lot of my vinyl records that I did have were skipping. So I was just getting really frustrated. I wasn't enjoying the vinyl hobby. I had even set it aside for a while, which was a huge mistake. That was the time to be buying vinyl because it was still cheap at that time. But back to my story, my husband bought that Denon turntable home for me, and we just put together speakers and other stereo equipment that we already had. We didn't want to invest a lot of money. I didn't know how deep I was going to get into vinyl collecting. Well, we all know how that turned out, don't we? So in this video, I'm going to show you now what I have, what's changed, and discuss with you my new stereo equipment. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. It really does help me a lot, so thank you so much. So first off, I will start out with what I think is the true star of the stereo equipment show. The part that I think is the most important and honestly is the most fun when it comes to shopping, talking about the turntable. And I made an upgrade from that Denon DP300F stereo equipment or turntable. I went ahead and upgraded to a Riga Planar 8, and I also got the Effeta 3 cartridge. Now I bought them as a package together, and it was a tremendous value when you consider how much the Effeta 3 cartridge costs on its own. In fact, if I want to replace my Effeta 3 with another one in the future, I better start saving now because it is very expensive. I really enjoy having the Effeta 3. Before that, I had the Ortofon Red. I had upgraded to the Ortofon Blue. So I really did enjoy and noticed a difference when I was moving from a magnetic cartridge to a moving coil cartridge. In theory, a moving coil cartridge should provide a more accurate interpretation of analog waveform. Now, I know that that's debatable. Some people are happy with the magnet cartridge. I personally really like that I moved to a coil cartridge. I think it's made a world of difference. And also with this Planar 8, I love the sturdy platter. I think it really cuts down on sound vibration and just the whole design of the Planar 8. It's designed to cut down on the sound vibrations. I noticed that the plinth is designed in that way. I think it's a really cool design. I think if the Jetsons had a turntable, it would look something like that. It's very futuristic looking. I really love it. So I'm very happy with my purchase. I think it was a really good purchase for me, and I have been enjoying the benefits of the sound quality upgrades from my Riga Planar 8. The P8 also comes with an external power supply that helps eliminate electromagnetic interference. And now let's move on to the Emotiva Phono Preamp. This is the XPS1 Generation 2. This takes the output from the turntable and amplifies it to the line level. In my old setup, I was using an old Yamaha receiver, Phono Preamp, and I thought it sounded pretty good. but this XPS one provides a more accurate representation of the information in the grooves. I am experiencing better bass and clearer highs. This is just so much better than what I had before. And there's just so many wonderful records in my collection that are mastered beautifully, recorded beautifully, audiophile pressings, and literally when I put them on the turntable, it does sound like the band or the artist are right here in the room with me. So this has been just an amazing purchase, and I'm so happy with this Phono Preamp. Next up is the Emotiva Bass X PT1 preamplifier. This has a high definition Bluetooth receiver built in so that I can sample high quality music before purchasing it on vinyl. So I think that's a very cool feature. Also, this controls the volume, tone, and balance when I'm listening to music. The PT1 does have a Phono Preamplifier built in, but I found the XPS1 to be slightly better, sounds a little bit better for my ears sound-wise. So I really do love having the Emotiva Bass X PT1. Also, the Emotiva Bass X A300 amplifier. This is a high-quality 150 watt per channel amplifier. I do also want to say that I'm really pleased with what I have received from Emotiva. They're not very far from where I live. I have really enjoyed working with them. They give me great advice. You know, I tell them what they have. They've given me wonderful recommendations. Also, they get great reviews for high quality equipment. They sell directly to the consumer. Nothing wrong with the middleman. I love the middleman. But because they sell directly to the consumer, you're allowed or able to get high quality sound equipment for a lot less money. So I have been very pleased with everything I've received from Emotiva. So the next upgrade I'm going to show is the first upgrade I made, the SVS Prime Tower Floor Speakers. And before this, I had these tiny little bookshelf speakers. They weren't doing me justice at all. I really did need to make the change. I'm so glad I did. This was, like I said, the first change I made on upgrades. You know, if I would have made my turntable upgrade first, I might have changed my mind and maybe did a little bit of a bigger upgrade on my speakers. But these SVF speakers are great value. They weren't really expensive, and yet I think they sound really great. Of course, I have to add, with everything, you don't know what you don't have or what you're missing until you have it. But for me, these floor speakers sound fantastic. I've been very happy with them. This is one of those deals where this purchase may not be a lifetime purchase. I may end up upgrading to something even bigger in the future, but for now, I'm really happy with the SVS Prime Tower floor speakers. I also, because of the area I have chosen to listen to music in, it is a rather large room. It's the hub of the house. I don't have a really great alternative because if I moved my equipment upstairs, that is also where my husband has an office and that's where he works. So having a separate music room to listen to music isn't a great option at this time. I'm not ruling it out. But for now, I just really enjoy having all of my equipment in my living room. But it is an open concept room that leads to a kitchen, dining room. It's just a huge, massive area. So for that reason, I also added a subwoofer. So I have the Infinity PS212W subwoofer, and it just helps fill in that bottom end, helps with the bass, and gives me an overall better sound for the big room that I'm in. And now I'm going to show you where I store my records because I'm a pretty big neat freak. I have a lot of records in my collection. I like having them close by when I'm listening. And so we needed to have some bookshelves made, and we made them with my vinyl collection in mind. I'll just go ahead and open one of these drawers and let you see how they sit up. They're kind of in the same style as when you go to a record shop. You just pull them out. You can just kind of look through them like this. Really cool. And also, if you can see this right here at the bottom,
These are just like what you'd put under a rug, little grippers, and they just allow those records to stay in place. They don't slip and slide, and they just stay nice and upright. And so there's the Beatles. You can pull it out. You can see Billie Eilish here. And that's just how I like to store my records. And I have a lot of these really nice shelves. They're wonderful storage. I'm so happy to have these for my records. And as you can see, everything's put away and looks neat and clean. I also want to show you an alternative way of how I store records. When I started getting into jazz records and started accumulating a lot of them, I decided I wanted to keep them separate from just my other collection of country and classic rock. I wanted to have a separate area for them, and so I decided to purchase this end table that's behind me. I got it from a furniture store. I brought a tape measure with me to make sure that it was deep enough and it would hold my records properly. And so I'm really happy with this. I think it's really pretty. There is some glass here so that you can see that my records are in here. I keep my one steps, I keep some of my box sets, and I keep my jazz records in here. And I bought it from a furniture store, so it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't overly expensive. But this is something you can buy very cheap if you go to an antique store or a flea market. They're basically giving away old furniture nowadays. And it would be very easy to pick something like this up and paint it however you want. You know, if I had my own music room and I was designing it myself, I would probably buy something like this and I would paint it red and create that Eddie Van Halen look, the iconic look he has with the white and black stripes. But you know what? For this to be in my living room, I needed it to be functional and yet beautiful. It holds my jazz records. It holds my box sets and one steps beautifully. And you know, you can spend as much or as little as you want on an end table like this. And I just think it's a tremendous asset to have. I've really liked it. And also I'm able to buy more records that way. So who wouldn't want that, right? So that is the conclusion of my stereo equipment video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I always love hearing from you. I learn from you and I appreciate it so much. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.